Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. I am back from vacation, and in this video I want to quickly look at the short term and talk about the long term. But before I do that, let's quickly look at the 4-hour chart. So here in yesterday's video we talked about a fourth wave move to the upside. As you can see, we did get that. We got a reaction to the 0.236. It's not the best fourth wave move to the upside, but it was looking like a fourth wave because it was just going sideways, and that's what usually happens in a fourth. So the top could be in right here, and I think it is because we already got another low. So this was probably some kind of weird flat ABC structure, and right now we're about to head to the fifth wave of the C wave. The target for that currently is at 73.9 cents, which happens to be exactly where the 200-day moving average is, and that's exactly near the 50% support level. So obviously I'm expecting the price to get a bounce to this area, which is not a surprise. We talked about this scenario many times, and this bounce should happen by December 29th. I think today is Thursday, meaning we should get this bounce maybe by Sunday, and then after that we're still expecting the third wave to the upside. We'll talk about that as well, but I do have to say that this structure right here is a bit weird because the fourth wave does not usually only get to the 0.236, meaning that maybe the third wave is still going on right now and we're about to get a short-term bounce. I did talk about this on the Discord server. Maybe that's the case, but then again, I mean, what we have right here is not really a bounce, and I think we're already in a fifth wave, so I'm gonna continue adjusting this for the members, obviously, but for now, the fifth wave should get in this region. Keep in mind, we are already oversold on the 4-hour chart. The last time when we got to the oversold territory was over here when we were at 68 cents, and before that it was down here at 50 cents. So obviously we're expecting the market to get a bounce, but like I mentioned already, it should happen next week, not right now. I think right now, for the time being, the market will continue going down, and if you look at the Ethereum chart right now, it's pretty much in a similar looking structure. As you can see here, we are also in a very big ABC, and we already got to the 0.236 support level, which is enough to confirm that, this is a fourth wave of the much bigger fifth wave. However, if you count the much smaller wave count, this is an AB, which, the A wave has a 5-wave move to the downside, and the B wave has a 3-wave move to the upside. And right now we're expecting the C wave to have the exact same amount of waves as the A wave, and for that to happen we need to get 5 waves down. This to me looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning we're in the fifth, exactly like on the ADA chart. And what do you know, the target for the fifth wave for the much bigger C wave is exactly where the target is for the C wave right there. So I think Ethereum is gonna bounce in this area, let's say between $3,800 and, in the worst case scenario, $3,500 to also test the bull market support band. So we are very close to bottoming in my opinion, and I think the price is gonna react to this very soon, but as I mentioned already, it's probably happening next week. And also keep in mind, right here on the 4-hour RSI, Ethereum has only been oversold about, let's say, 4 times in the last 6 months, and each time we got to the oversold territory, as you can see, these were lows, and right now we got oversold again. By the way, as you can see, the RSI on the 4-hour went to about 17. It has not been this low ever since we were down here. When we were down here, the RSI was about 15, and look at what happened after that. So I'm definitely not, giving you hopium. I think the chart is about to start bouncing, and then we could focus on maybe $7,000 to $8,000 as a target for the fifth wave of the fifth wave. Now moving on to the Cardano chart, here on the daily, we've talked about this setup way too many times in my opinion, but there is a chance we get to the oversold territory here, which in this case would be bullish because the last time we got oversold was at about, let's say, 50 cents, and before that it was down here. And before that it was down here exactly at 28 cents, so getting oversold again could be the best thing to happen, and that's what usually happens before we actually get a big move to the upside. If we look at, for example, these lows over here, this particular low was at 7 cents. As you can see, we got to the oversold territory, and then we never really got another low after that for the entire bull market, and the exact same thing happened over here during the pandemic drop. This was 2 cents and it was oversold, and after that we bounced. So obviously getting oversold on the daily is a big deal, and when it happens it usually is a very good sign. Right now, the wave count suggests that we're about to start a much bigger third wave of the third wave. You should already know this because I've been saying this every single day for the past year, but this is a big 1-2-1-2 setup. It's the exact same structure that we had in the previous cycle. Right here, this was also a 1-2-1-2 setup, and I even talked about the bars pattern. If you take that bear market low over there and the all-time high, and you take this and you overlay it with this cycle, if you maybe overlay it like this, as you can see, this move was very similar, and this move was also similar, except for the drop right there, which was a pandemic drop. And what you know, this over here, this drop also happened in this cycle, and I think right now we could be exactly at this point because this was a 1-2 setup, and by the way, this was the 1-2 setup of the main third wave of the third wave. If you actually go back to the previous cycle, this is what we were talking about, and right here we had a cross on the bull market support band, just like we had a couple of months ago, maybe like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So the market is obviously preparing for a much bigger move, and as you can see, so far Cardano has respected every single support level. It's not like we have broken below support. There's a reason I'm making these videos every single day. It's because Cardano keeps respecting support, and it's because it keeps staying above the bull market support band, it keeps staying above the 200-day moving average, and it keeps staying above pretty much every single local low. For example, during these lows right here, we did not break below any of these lows over here, and during these lows over here, we did not break below any of these lows. So this is a good sign, and it's the exact same pattern that we had in the previous cycle. And the best thing about this is that Bitcoin dominance is at 59%. As I predicted maybe a couple of weeks ago, as you can see, we are getting a bounce, and this could get exactly to the bull market support band, exactly like I said it would. Bitcoin dominance still has not gotten this move right here, and this move usually only happens when the altcoins start outperforming Ethereum while Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. So that's what we're waiting for, and for that to happen, Ethereum needs to break its all-time highs. And in order for Ethereum to break its all-time highs, it first needs to finish that fourth wave move to the downside and then bounce, and that's gonna be the perfect time for the altcoin season to start, because that's when I'm expecting the altcoins to start outperforming Ethereum, because that's exactly what happened in the previous cycle. So going to the Cardano chart, my short-term target, if we continue respecting support, is at $1.56 for the third wave over here. But this third wave should get to at least $2, maybe $2.50, because the target for the much bigger third wave to the upside of this much bigger 1-2 setup over here is at $3.50. If we want to hit that target, the third wave of the third wave kind of has to overextend, because otherwise it's not going to be possible to hit these targets. And that third wave of the third wave is, in my opinion, going to complete a much bigger third wave. We're not really going to have time to form this much bigger third wave into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just because, we're expecting Bitcoin dominance to be at 41% by January. And yeah, we're not really going to have time to do something like this and then go down into the fourth and then the fifth again. There's just not enough time to do that. So the third wave will probably be an ABC structure. Then we'll get the fourth wave move down. Everything will be bearish during this time. Everybody will think we have started a bear market, exactly like in this area. And then we're still going to get another high, maybe, which could put us above the third wave high right there. And that's going to be the all-time high. So my prediction for Cardano has and always will be between $5 to $8 by the end of the cycle. The cycle should end by the end of January of next year, and that's pretty much it for today. I'm obviously not done. I still have a lot to say, but this video is already long enough, so I'm gonna try continuing this tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.